Last week on Gleeboot, Finn outed Santana. There was a hot for teacher penis dance, and Kurt compared dodgeball to modern day stoning. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Oh my god. Penis dance. I am offended.
Gleeboot.
Welcome to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk and talk about rebooting Glee one episode at a time. I'm Cullen.
Alyssa.
And I'm Hannah.
And we have a friend from grad school here with us today, a fellow BU alumnus.
Hello.
Alex.
Yeah, Alexandria Marie, if you want to find me on social media.
Oh, sweet. Plug right at the top.
I know, you got to get them in early.
Yeah, people probably like duck out as soon as we're like, okay, that's the episode. And they're like, bye.
Right.
I do that sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Not to our podcast, though.
Of course not.
If I start an episode, I have to finish it. I can't not finish it.
That's how I feel about this YouTube video that my brother showed me a week ago, and I have 5 minutes left, and it's been annoying me every day since I didn't watch it in full.
Go back and watch
My
it.
YouTube history is full of videos that like still have like 3 or 4 minutes left because I'm like, and then I'm done. Like, I annoy myself because I could just like sit through the rest of it, but I get bored and I'm like, no. Yeah,
Right.
I'm the worst to myself.
Well, I mean, you could even just let it play in the background so it doesn't.
I do that a lot during work,
You know? Yeah.
but then I'm not like taking it in, which I mean, I guess at that point, does it matter that I've taken it in? I clock out 3 minutes till the end.
It's a 3-minute
that's
video.
how I listen to podcasts and YouTube videos.
And I'll tell you, that's how a lot of people watch Glee.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So, Alex, what is your story with the show Glee? What is your Glee journey?
I am an OG fan. I have been watching since before they even premiered, technically, because they actually aired the first episode about 2 months prior to the actual start of the season being aired, because there was so much hype and anticipation. They aired the first episode early. And then I've been watching since then.
Wow.
How did I not know that? How have we not talked about this?
We didn't talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about the fact that they aired it 2 months early.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and my very first girlfriend ever, we met on Tumblr in the Britannia fandom. So this episode is critical to my upbringing.
What a Glee love story. Meeting on
I know,
Tumblr
right?
in the Britannia
We
fan.
dated for like 2.5 years, so it was legit. But yeah, we met on Tumblr in a Glee fandom.
I mean, if you're not bonding over Britannia, like what are you bonding over, honestly?
Yeah, it was a strange time to be on Tumblr in the early 2010s. It was rough.
Yeah. God, it's almost 2021 and I'm like 2010s, that was yesterday. And then I'm like, nope, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago. Yeah, and
Takes a big drink.
The first non-alcoholic party I went to in high school was the season 1 finale. There was a watch party at a friend's house, and it was the first house. I didn't really drink in high school at all, so every time there was a house party with alcohol, I kind of felt uncomfortable. And I'm not gonna lie, this was the first party where I was like, I'm just having wholesome fun. We're just watching Glee.
That's what Glee's about, wholesome fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Ryan Murphy intended.
Yeah, and I'll never forget when when Quinn's in labor and they're doing Bohemian Rhapsody and they're trying to have her labor moans be the no, no, no. I will never forget my friend Justin. He texted the whole group during the episode, "This is the best Quinn sounded all season." And kind of lost it.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have you on because I remember like at 3 a.m. after a party, you ranting about this episode. So once we started having guests, I was like, this is where Alex guest stars.
I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting for you guys to get here. And when you guys wrote me and were like, which one do you want? I was like, this one. Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So, what are we all drinking today?
I am drinking gin and orange juice, and it looks like a drink that you'd get in a bar. I have it in like a tall glass with Dude's Marketplace, just like on the glass with an orange thing. What's that called again? Well, it's a slice, but it's specific when you put it on a drink.
A wedge.
A wedge.
Garnish.
Yeah, wedge.
An orange slice. Garnish. And an orange straw. It's good.
She gave us the whole visual rundown for the listeners. That's
yes,
great.
for listeners. In here, you can hear my glass clinking. There you go.
I'm drinking sparkling water that is flavored with lemon.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drinking something called Thanksgiving Jungle Juice. It was a leftover punch that we made for our little family gathering, my roommates and I. And I'd love to tell you what's in it, but I don't remember. And it's in a Dia de los Muertos sugar skull glass, wine glass.
Oh, yeah.
Very pretty.
Bright red. There's something like cranberry juice and Sprite and lots of alcohol in here. It's very good. It doesn't taste like alcohol, which is very dangerous.
That's the way to go, though.
By the way, Thanksgiving was yesterday for all of our listeners. Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving.
This stuff actually has been marinating since last Friday. So it's been potent.
Whoa.
We had a lot left over because we had made a drink earlier in the night and people were drinking that, and everyone, by the time we got to that, we're like, oh, I don't know if I can have more alcohol, because it was basically just drinks that didn't taste like alcohol, and everyone was just double fisting. Not
Wait,
really.
if you made it last week and you put Sprite in it, does that mean it's like very, very flat right now?
No. I refreshed it with the Sprite.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because like it was like really bitter, and I was like, it needs more pop. So I put some Sprite in it and cut it very nicely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Sam Adams Boston Lager.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a Bert Hummel. Bert Hummel would like.
He would like this. Yeah.
Congressman Bert Hummel.
And in honor of the holiday season, I found out yesterday, or listening to Christmas music, that Allyssa loves the song Christmas Shoes. And I can't believe it, because for once she loves the sentimental pop culture thing and I can't stand it.
I was about to fight Cullen in the kitchen as we were making Thanksgiving dinner, because he hates that song and I like it. So I was standing there in the kitchen with a very hot pan.
About to go Rapunzel on his ass. Speaking of Christmas music, and this actually transition well into what we're going to ask Alex next, but I took a BuzzFeed quiz of like, how much of a Scrooge are you based on how much you like these Christmas songs. I think I liked 3 out of like the 10 that were on the quiz, and I got major Scrooge. I was like, that checks out. I was like, however, if the Glee version of Christmas Wrapping and any Kelly Clarkson Christmas song was on there, I would be the most festive person in the world. So speaking of BuzzFeed quizzes, Alex, did you take the BuzzFeed quizzes of the characters?
You bet your butt I did.
Yeah. Tell us who you are and who you're dating.
I am Quinn Fabray. Which,
we have a lot of Quins that come on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one of your guests, I believe it was during Agent F. I have the exact same spread. I'm dating Sam Evans.
Wow. So you're the power couple too.
Yep.
Yay.
Wow. Like yin and yang.
Which is so odd, because I don't think if you had asked me who I was on the show, I don't think I would have said Quinn.
Right.
And I don't think I would have said that I would have dated Sam, mainly because he's a man. But if once I took the quiz and I read the description, I was like, wow, that actually lands. I like it.
Yeah, Sam Evans still not around.
No,
he is still gone.
His little golden retriever self to come back. I want him back.
I'm not saying anything because I know that you haven't watched it. So
Don't tell
I'm not going to
me.
get any spoilers out
I
of me.
don't remember if I'm assuming he comes back, because I know I've seen like pictures of him with longer hair, but honestly that could be from other things, not even Glee. But I think he comes back. I don't know how.
Okay.
I am silent.
Me too.
I'm still waiting. I'm just gonna wait.
Does he come swinging in like a wrecking ball? Oh, wait, wrecking ball was post Glee, right?
No, they cover Wrecking Ball on.
Oh,
No. But they don't do Party in the USA? Okay.
There comes a time in the show, this I don't feel like is spoiling anything. There comes a time in the show where if a song in real life became top 40 or song of the week or anything, it was like guaranteed that within 2 weeks it was going to be on Glee. Like they could have already shot and edited the whole episode, and like you knew Ryan Murphy was going to have them go back and shove that song somewhere in the plot.
No.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the connection of the songs to the story is going to become more tenuous over time. Drink everybody.
Everyone take a drink.
Oh, Alex, we have a impromptu drinking game we started a few episodes ago because Cullen kept saying bonkers. I'm saying tenuous. Melissa, we'll have a word for you.
Or we could just everyone drink whenever I ask something about etymology.
Oh, that's a good one. That's it, 'cause that comes up a lot. You're like, but what does that word mean? Where does it come from? I guess we all have to drink.
I'm into it.
So today we're talking about I Kissed a Girl, named after Katy Perry's invention of gay culture.
And Kesha.
Yeah.
The invention of Kesha. She's in that video.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's like a random girl at the party, and that is the invention of Kesha as we know her.
Wow.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Proceed.
So we're going to go, we have 4 storylines this episode. We have the main Santana one. We have the election stuff with Kurt and Rachel. We have the love triangle with Beast and Sue and Cooter Menkins.
Don't like that name.
Who looks at a baby and is like, Cooter.
Cooter. Right.
Oh no.
And we have Puck and Shelby, our favorite power couple.
Pelby.
Pelby.
No.
It's as uncomfortable as their relationship.
So we're gonna go over Santana first because that's like the meat and potatoes of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So it opens after the slap heard around the world, as Alex called it. They're in the principal's office and they're like, Santana, you slapped Finn unprovoked. You're going to be suspended for 2 weeks. And she's like, it was done by my alter ego, Snicks. She comes out when I'm really angry. It's like the Incredible Hulk. You can't blame me for things Snicks does. And Mr. Fleegans is like, well, I'm suspending you and this Snicks for 2 weeks.
I feel like that's way too harsh for a slap. That like, especially considering how many felonies these kids have committed, and they just like never got any. Like they literally set a piano on a fire. They literally stuffed Sue's tailpipe with tots, and then they also like keyed somebody's
tires.
car. Yeah, something like that.
When I'm like, bust a window out your car.
But
Yes.
I'm a mega fan. Amazing. Yes. Like, I was like, that's bananas. And then obviously we'll like get to like later, like with Rachel's storyline, but like, I feel like that's a super harsh punishment. And like, people probably fight all the time. They fight all the time at that school, and no one's ever been suspended.
Yeah, we've
Puck
seen
and Finn literally got in a fist fight in the hallway.
Yeah,
over Quinn.
Mm-hmm. And like, wow, I totally blanked on his name. Kurt was bullied, and he literally went to the principal, and they didn't do anything about it. So I don't. Is it just because she did it in front of teachers, or like what? I don't.
It's because she did
she's
it
a girl?
against Finn.
Yeah, and Finn is the golden boy.
Literally.
But
yeah,
is it actually because she's a girl and girls aren't supposed to do that? Like girls aren't supposed to get into fights?
What really happened is there's no logic in this school or in this universe.
And he's a bad principal.
True.
Okay, I will say there was a point in the series, and I want to say it was season 3, where someone was bringing up like the logical inconsistencies within this world, i.e. Finn and Puck can get in a all-out fist fight in the hallway that Shu has to separate. It's not like a teacher didn't see it, and nothing happens to them except a talking to. And then Santana slaps Finn when he outed her nationwide, and she is threatened suspension for 2 weeks. And Ryan Murphy's response was basically, if I don't even know what's happened in my own show, how can I expect my writers to? And I was like, that is not a good answer to that question.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why didn't he know what happened in his show?
Yeah, because, well, this is also, you got to keep in mind too, I don't remember exactly when this happens. I want to say it's season 3. This is around the time that Ryan Murphy starts his other show, A New Normal. And New Normal.
R.I.P.
Yeah, New Normal. So Kurt was supposed to be a character that was very reminiscent of Ryan Murphy in high school. And he had a lot of passion about that character, which is why he's a huge part of the first season, despite it being the Rachel and Finn storyline. Like, they're the protagonists, but Kurt gets a lot of airtime. And it's because Ryan Murphy had such a soft spot because it reminded him of him. In A New Normal, the main characters, the gay couple that are the protagonists, are supposed to be Ryan Murphy and his real life husband. And my personal opinion is that his attention was so drawn away from Glee into A New Normal because he had a new version of himself to manifest, that he basically put everything onto his writing staff. And he was like, I didn't proofread anything. And like, they don't know what happened in the first couple seasons. And it's like, you've only been on air for 2 years. They can watch the episodes. They'll know.
Yeah, like, why didn't they do that? I'm confused.
Who knows?
Unless they did and they're like, oh, we see there's no logic here. We can do whatever we want.
That's true. It's possible.
That's
Do they not hire people like to QC check episodes?
I'm sure they had someone on staff.
Just QC episodes because QC is quality check. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
quality check. Etymology. Take a drink.
Everyone drink. Yeah, that was something I was going to say. It was like, because we all went to BU in the screenwriting program, we're all going to talk lots of lingo. We're going to say characters, writing, words like that. So
I actually like legitimately
Writing.
curious though. But they don't QC writing, like, to make sure everything's consistent.
Well, typically that's the showrunner's job. Am I right? Like, the
Believe
showrunner's
so.
kind of supposed to be, and there's also like script supervisors and stuff like that.
Script coordinators and
Yeah, but like, so that's actually a really good theory. Like, that's my theory about Ryan Murphy, is that I think like there's a lot of great foundation to a lot of his work, but then it just like gets splintered because he's working on 35 different things. Like, that's my biggest problem with his content, is that like, if he just focused, like, he could make something that like would be probably almost perfect, like so close to perfect. And I just like, I have such a hard time like with some of the American Horror Story, like you kind of get on like, okay, I can be on this, and then it's just like, whoo, goes around. And I'm like, I can't anymore. So yeah, I feel that theory for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I have more theories about how the writing staff for this particular episode influenced the storyline, but we can get further into the plot because it'll play a part later on.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Finn then stands up basically and is like, well, she didn't slap me. She stage slapped me. Or he's like, what do you call it when you slap someone, but not really? And Shelby is like, a stage slap. And he's like, that. Yeah. She stage slapped me. So if she didn't actually slap me, you can't suspend her.
I did that in the middle of a restaurant once with
Okay.
a friend.
Stage slapped them.
Yes, I did. It was great. Everyone was like, oh my God.
My comment comes in the scene next, so I guess I'll just hold my tongue.
So right after Finn and Santana exit the office.
But can I just mention how proud of himself Finn looked for coming up with this idea? He was like glowing. I was just like, okay, you sweet little boy. Good job.
So they walk out of the office, and she's like, "What was that for?" And he's like, I care about you. I think you're awesome. And you hide that awesomeness. That makes you upset. And that's why you act out. And she's like, if you think this is going to make me come back to Glee Club. And he's like, yes, you and all the trouble tones, we're going to have a special lesson. And so it's up to you to either do that or take a 2-week vacation and not be able to compete at sectionals.
Okay, so the first thing he said was, I want sectionals to be a fair fight. So he basically did this for, like, the first thing he says is some sort of, like, stupid reason. Not, I'm sorry for outing you and, like, causing you pain. It's, I'm doing this for me somehow. And it's really mad. And then I wrote for, I think, one of 3 times, I love when men explain why women are feeling what they're feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that exact conversation, that line that he said to her, like, you're always not being truthful about yourself and that's why you're angry all the time or something, was the exact conversation that we were wanting last episode.
And said he was
instead
like,
of the outing. Yeah. So, and I was like, oh, so now here it is. And then it went from something that, like, kind of was like, okay, that's kind of nice. And then he literally, like, blackmailed her. So basically he was saying, like, if you don't do this, I'm going to actually say that it was a real slap. So nice. Good, Finn. Good.
Yeah, and there's a very heavy-handed attitude in this episode that basically it's Santana's obligation to accept Finn's kindness, air quotes around kindness, and that her arc, and that this scene really sets up her arc for the rest of the episode as you're going to participate in this lesson that I've decided you have to participate in, and that is my design. And poorly thought out, but we'll get to that. And if you don't endure my apology, I'm going to get you suspended for 2 weeks. So it's an outing and then a blackmailing.
For her reacting, punishing him for hurting her. Like, it's almost like a weird intervention where, like, you're gay, just, like, tell everybody about it all the time. And, like, that's kind of how I felt the whole time. I was like, stop.
Well, also, like, does he not remember when he had all of his issues with Kurt and living with a gay guy and all of the stress that he put Kurt under and the homophobia that he put into the space? And now he's acting like, oh, I don't understand why Santana would think that people aren't happy with her or that people could be mean to her. It's like, you did the same thing. You're just not threatened by a lesbian who you've slept with. Like, there's something about that you feel like is completely non-threatening, so you don't understand why she's scared. And it's just a very self-centered perspective. And
it very much is.
And it doesn't get remedied anywhere in the episode. Like, it'd be one thing if he said, like, if he pretended that this was all about Glee Club and that it was competitive because he knows she's a competitive person and he was baiting her into being in these lessons. But then at the end of the episode, he's like, no, I really don't care about sectionals. I just, like, wanted to talk to you. And I thought that's how I could get you in the room. That'd be one thing. But it's literally about sectionals.
Yeah.
It's also, I think I wanted to make this very clear last episode, is that he outed her to hurt her. And they kind of walk back on it and say that I care about you this episode, and that's why I outed you.
Yeah.
Which in a more complex,
with yourself.
In a more complex show, that's like a very realistic thing for someone who did something that horrible to kind of rationalize it to themselves. Like, I could see Finn being like, oh, I didn't do this because I was mad. I did this because I care about Santana. Because he does sort of care about Santana. So he would try and rationalize it. But the show isn't that complex. The show is like, yep, that's why he did it. Not, even though, like, last episode, it was very clear he did it just to hurt her.
Well, I think that's the distinction too, is that it'd be one thing if Finn was rationalizing it, but it's the show that's rationalizing it.
Yeah.
And, like, that's where the issue is. I'm fine with Finn being ignorant to his own motivations. Cool. But if the show is ignorant to his own motivations and he's trying to convince me that it's okay that he outed her like that and then blackmailed her and threatened suspension, like you've missed the mark completely.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest issue here is that like this episode is just not well written in that respect.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just not.
what is the lesson? It's people singing at her.
Yeah, there isn't one.
Well, singing at the crowd of people who are in the Glee Club room and then face journeys.
Yeah. And it's, I know we're going to get to the scene, but it's songs that are supposed to be by ladies for ladies, but the whole episode, they're sung by men, pretty much.
Yeah,
and
you're right.
3 songs?
Yeah.
So like,
Wait, there were only
even
3?
in the episode, they're like, we're going to put it through the mouth of a man.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to math.
Are there only 3 songs actually?
No, there's a couple more, but all the ones that were officially in the lesson.
Oh, okay.
Unless you
Just
count I
2.
Kissed a Girl.
That
Which
I
I'm
was
not counting.
Oh, I was counting that. Then there's only 1, right?
No, there's
None.
Perfect, sung by men. There's
Well, no, I'm talking about girls singing the song. Sorry, I did not make that clear.
well, there's
There's only 1.
I Kissed a Girl and then Constant Craving.
Okay.
Okay, so there's 2 then total in the episode.
But even then with Constant Craving, it's Santana singing to herself, which is supposed to be like, she's reached her emotional peak.
Right.
Yeah.
But like to get her there, it's
was all
just a
men.
bunch of dudes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's men singing about how women are feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So as Alex pointed out, Finn is like, we're going to do lady music by ladies for ladies. And he's like, we all know your secret, Santana, everyone in this room. And I'm thinking like, I guess Rory knows. Did Sugar know? Like, you're like, there's lots of people in this room.
Did Shelby know? Like, Shelby was her like coach. Like, I don't know.
I mean, if the commercial's already out, they probably all knew.
Yeah, I guess.
That's true.
But again, it's the commercial's out because Finn put it out like,
Well,
I told everyone in this room.
We're here to support you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, we all think you're awesome. We're all here to support you. And we're going to sing music by ladies for ladies. So first, Blaine and Kurt come up, and Kurt's like, this was hard for me. I know it'll be hard for you. This is a song that we like to sing together in the car. And they sing Perfect by Pink. And Kurt is wearing an abomination.
All right, let's talk about this. Is one of yes. It's like a half sweater. It's cut in half in like a place you don't want it to be cut in half. It's like asymmetrical. It's also a turtleneck. It's beige.
Yeah, it's a turtleneck sweater cut from the top
like
left shoulder to the bottom right hip.
Oh, see, I thought it like was like at his like armpit and then down because I didn't know. If
Yeah, I think. Well,
Yeah, it covered
like
both his
half
shoulders.
it did cut.
yeah, so it's like
both of his
half
shoulders. The bottom
half
of his left shoulder.
top on one side, and then it's just downhill
It was
from there, quite
gross.
literally.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
keep
thought
waiting-
season 1 Kurt was a bit much. This was an abomination. Whoever
Someone
said that,
once
I
told me
couldn't
that
agree more.
like Kurt is a fabulous dresser, like in the second half of.
I did.
You know,
Okay,
but
so
I don't
said this. I
understand.
only remembered the good things. I did not remember these atrocities.
Okay, good.
I am beside myself. I apologize for misleading you.
Beside myself. Oh god.
So yeah, it's also like this is the start of the lesson of what is the lesson? Like what is the lesson? Like we're gonna sing at you, and you're gonna like it.
And it's not even the first song is like it's not even like a gay lady song. Like again, it's by a lady for a lady, but really it's like by a woman talking to little girls. Like you can love yourself, and thematically I get it, but like there are so many lady loving lady songs they could have picked.
Yeah.
And I think that might have just been Ryan Murphy saying, I want to throw a Pink song in there.
Not only
It was
that,
probably really hot at that time.
Yeah, they were. I mean, Kurt and Blaine usually sing this to each other. So why are you taking that context and like throwing it at Santana? It was just a very weird vibe.
And Santana was making this great face during the whole thing. And then afterwards, she's like, thank you. And especially thank you, Finn. Because now, after all the horrible crap I've been through in my life, I get to add that.
I literally was like, to be honest, I totally agree with that response.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I did too. I was behind her all the way.
Imagine someone in that sweater singing Pink at you to get you to come out of the closet.
Except they weren't actually singing it at you. They were singing it to their boyfriend.
Honestly, I wanted to be like, imagine someone in that sweater and then sing that song. Like, it just escalates. That sentence you just said just escalates into terribleness.
So Santana isn't buying it. And then later, Finn comes up to Santana's locker and Santana's like, you're forcing me out of the flannel closet. He's like, I'm not that ad is.
Oh my God, I'm in the flannel closet. I have flannel in my closet. Flannel. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Please don't sing Pink at me to make me come out of the closet.
Does everyone own a piece of flannel?
I don't.
I don't.
Ellen does not own flannel. I own flannel.
Yeah.
I like it. It's comfortable.
Welcome to the club.
The flannel club. We meet on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yay.
Right after Glee.
Right after Glee.
And Finn is like, someone from one of those It Gets Better videos killed himself recently. And I wouldn't want you to hurt yourself because you're so angry and hurt. And I really care about you. You're my first. And that means something. And I don't want you to hurt yourself, which is why I'm doing this.
I hated this entire conversation.
So the thing that got me was not, I don't want you to hurt yourself just because I care about you. It's, I can't imagine living with myself if you did something to you. Like if you did hurt yourself, I can't imagine how that would affect me. Right. That's basically what he's saying by the end. And I'm like, what?
Because it's your fault because you outed her.
Right. Like if he was going to be
makes.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, he says that she's mean to everyone and that if there's no one else is going to be there, like if suddenly all of the other people that she's mean to disappear, she's going to start being mean to herself. Like, what kind of jump is that? What? I'm trying to comprehend it. It's not working.
He's trying to illustrate the fact, I think, of like, you're going to push people away. But like, I don't understand how that's going to be logical when she's been so awful to so many people in this club and yet they're still behind her when like, what has she done for them? Like, that's the thing is that like, I don't quite understand why people are friends with her because she's so mean. And it's like, I don't know. Is it like off-screen stuff or is it just like they're in a club, they're supposed to love each other? Like, I don't quite understand it. So like, I do and I don't understand the point he's trying to illustrate. And then it also comes off very selfish.
Was there an actual video, like the person, okay, what is It Always Gets Better video?
There was a website where it was a campaign where people who were out and had been out would make videos to kids who were still in the closet or freshly out and their parents were disowning them, or basically they were going through a hard time because they were gay. And the videos were from people who had gone through that process already and their life got better. And it was supposed to be motivational for kids to watch online. And the theme was it gets better, like don't kill yourself, basically. And it was very seriously an anti-suicide campaign to try and show. Yeah, they're trying to show gay kids who were like, say, 15, here's what your life could look like when you're 30. Stick around long enough to see that happen.
Okay, that's interesting. Do you think at the time of the airing of this episode, or around the time they were writing it at least, there was an actual suicide they were referencing?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know it off the top of my head, but
interesting.
There were thousands of these videos, so the likelihood that one of those people had committed suicide is not totally unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had never heard of that. I figured it was something like that, but I didn't realize it was specifically geared towards people who are in the closet.
Yeah. What's actually hilarious is I actually made one when I was in like high school, and it wasn't always gay people who made the videos. Like there were some straight people that were like, my kid came out as gay, or my brother and sister came out as gay, and my parents had a hard time with it, but now we all love each other and it can get better. So like sometimes it was allies making the video, and I legit made a video as an ally. Lo and behold. Yeah. Yeah.
So after this lovely conversation, Finn sings a slowed down version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. And he sings it right at Santana, and she cries and hugs and thanks him.
Okay, I have to
I have
say,
2 comments. Go for it.
I actually really like the slow down version of this song with Finn's voice. I really liked it. Yeah.
That shocks me because you don't like the slow songs.
Every once in a while they hit me with one and I'm like, okay, right. I like this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really like the context, but I like the song.
Yeah, that was my first point, was that's a banger. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I love that version of that song.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I don't like about it is that it's Lady Music Week. That's not a song by a lady. So it's not written by a lady. It's not originally sung by a lady. It was covered by Cyndi Lauper, but that is a man's song. Yep. So doesn't even fit.
I didn't know any of that.
Well, Glee tried. They tried.
Yeah.
Who sang that originally? I don't even know.
I think his name's like Richard something.
I always thought it was a Cyndi Lauper original, to be honest.
Mm-mm.
It took me a while to figure out
where the cover is more popular than the original.
Yeah. When he was singing it, I was like, wait a second. Is this what I think it is? And it took me at least halfway through the song to figure it out.
Yeah.
Robert Hazard. 1979.
When did Cyndi Lauper sing it?
In the
83.
80s?
Okay.
83. Yeah, I don't like that song, that version.
Dang.
I do remember it from like first watching the episode, like way back in the day, and I remember not liking it then.
Now I was like reminded that Finn actually does have a good voice, and like they just need to give him more songs like this.
Definitely.
So Santana accepts Finn's not apology, but whatever this is.
His singing at her.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, she's walking through the halls, and it's obvious that the ad has run because everyone's looking at her differently. And the sophomore rugby captain comes up to her and is like, I saw the ad, hot. You just need a guy to straighten you out. And I could be the guy.
You're a challenge.
Yeah.
I wanted to like stab this person with a knife.
Yeah.
I think we were supposed to. So
yeah, they did a good job. I wanted to stab.
The casting call was like, "Do you look stabbable?"
Make yourself seem stabbable.
Yeah, the casting guy from the Glee Project was like, "Oh yeah, he seems stabbable," pointing at that headshot. Yeah, that was awful.
It was disgusting.
And like the worst part is that like people still say shit like that. And it's like, that's depressing.
Definitely. I didn't mind the scene in from like a screenwriting or filmmaking perspective. I think that those are legitimate comments that people make.
Yeah.
That women have to face all the time from smug guys who think that they can turn someone. And I
think
like
a teenager too would believe something like that too. Like obviously adults do too, but it feels pretty organic.
Yeah, and I liked that it was the girls that came up and helped defend her, and I like that the response was like, even if we're not like, yeah, we might all be lesbians, but even if some of us are straight, we're not going to go for you. Like there wasn't the no, we're straight kind of thing. It was like, yeah, I might like girls.
Yeah, it's like, so what?
Yeah.
I really
actually did mind it.
I like the girls coming up and like defending her as well. It was a good moment of solidarity.
Yeah.
I wrote girl power in my notes.
Thanks, Ginger Spice.
Is this also a thing with women where they're like, I could turn that man straight?
I feel like
I don't
no.
think so.
I mean, it could be, but I feel like that doesn't happen that much.
Yeah, I don't think it's as common, but I can imagine it happening.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it's just because men have a different idea of like sexuality. So
yeah, I mean, women are often more possessed, you know, being the object. So
yeah,
that power dynamic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If anything, I actually think that, and this is ironic, I think that there are a group of gay women who treat straight women that way.
Yep.
Like, I can turn you to like girls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not great, but it's a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're all like, you'd be our last choice. It's not a phase. Turn your busted creeper ass around. So all the girls come up and they defend Santana, and they break out into.
But nobody stabbed him. I was disappointed.
No one stabbed him.
They get suspended for 2 weeks, don't you remember?
Right. Well, stabbing, that'd probably be at least 3.
Yeah.
At least 3 weeks. But like I say, you always have to get all of your felonies out before you're 18.
Don't take that advice.
Please don't take that. Well, Glee takes that advice.
Sure.
Maybe that's where she got it from.
I could see Santana saying that.
Yeah.
So then they all sang
yeah.
I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry, a great song about kissing for your boyfriend's attention. But also yet kind of a queer anthem
about
at the same
ladies
time.
For ladies.
Wait, is it
actually?
Absolutely. Like, I know she mentions the boyfriend in the song, but I didn't realize she was doing it to make him jealous.
Isn't this also the same album where she has You're So Gay on it too?
Yes, ma'am.
I love the irony.
Yeah.
Great.
Which didn't she come out and apologize for that song later?
Yeah. But I just think like on the same album, like, wow.
Right.
Okay.
Totally.
I loved everything about that. The exception of, I was just confused as to why it was Rachel singing at first. I was like, why is this not Santana and Britney? Power couple,
girl.
power
Does Rachel
anthem.
start it?
Yeah.
Yes. I think so.
She's definitely the co-lead with Santana throughout the song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Is this supposed to be
didn't know
fan
that.
service of like that ship?
Well, I don't think so, but I can tell you that there are several numbers throughout the course of the show where it's Rachel and Santana like power soloing or power duetting some like awesome song that feels fanfic for years. And that was one of them for sure.
Yeah, overall I thought it was great, and I thought their voices sounded great, but I was like, but why Rachel? Why?
Maybe
Probably
just because they sound great together.
Well, she hadn't sang at all this episode, I don't think. So she's like, she has. Leah Michelle's like, I have to sing at least one song in an episode.
Honestly, that's probably just an internal rule for them. I don't know if it's contracted or if that's just them being like, Rachel is technically the lead of this show, and if we have a whole episode without her singing a song, does that say?
Right.
So.
Yeah.
At this point, they should go the Game of Thrones route and just like pass off between certain groups of characters.
I thought you were going to say kill everyone.
That too.
That's what I was thinking. Also, I was like, well, that would be a very different type of show, but okay.
The Red Pep Rally.
I'm
That'd be a great
obsessed.
spoof.
And then like the marching band is playing the Reigns of Castamere. It's like a banging cover. Now I want a marching band to play that song. That'd be amazing. Anyway.
There's probably someone somewhere whose marching band
Probably.
has done that.
Considering
Every
the
time I
amount
hear
of,
that song, I get chills.
considering the amount of
Yeah.
dance troops that have danced to the Ratatouille the musical TikTok memes, I think someone has
What?
made the Reigns of Castamere.
Hold on. We have two things to talk about there. One, there's a Ratatouille musical.
And two, it's a TikTok meme?
Two, it's a TikTok meme.
So on
Three, follow us on TikTok at Gleeboot Pod.
There's more content.
I posted today. The Ratatouille musical is like this thing that various people on TikTok have written songs for a fake Ratatouille musical.
That's what my roommate and her friends were talking about the other day. I was
It's
like,
not
Ratatouille
real.
musical.
It's not like, it's not like a real Disney sponsored musical, but people on
Not
TikTok are
yet.
writing songs and some of them are really catchy.
Okay, now I'm gonna have.
I just followed you guys on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone take this time to follow us on the TikTok.
Yes, Hannah always calls it the TikTok.
I have to sound like the 75-year-old woman that I am.
Cullen's about to get to one of my least favorite moments in the entire series, so I'm excited.
Let's go.
All right, so they sing "I Kissed a Girl" in the choir room, and everyone's like, "Ooh, yay!" And then Santana's like, "I came out to my parents, and it went great."
It went great.
Off screen.
Yep. Yeah, they do that a lot.
But
I'm
like,
glad we could have seen that uplifting moment in her life.
Right. That would have been really great if we had seen that juxtaposed with the other one.
or better yet, I would have loved to see those two combined. I would have loved for her parents to be at the actual coming out scene. I would have loved to see intergenerational opinions,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like the parents being okay with it and the mom being like, I didn't raise you that way, or them being like, yes, you did. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved that.
Yep.
It would have been so dramatic. It would have
Yeah.
been great.
And it would have been real. Like,
Yeah.
I think that that's a thing that happens a lot. And even if she comes out to her parents off screen, I still think that her parents would have been present with her coming out to her grandmother. Whatever. That's later on in the show. We can get to that.
I mean, that's the next scene that we're going to talk about.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so she goes to her abuela's house, played
It's
by
Alba.
Alba from Jane the Virgin.
And I want to go back and watch Jane the Virgin. I saw her. I was like, Alba.
You're very different here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she comes out to her grandmother, and her grandmother does not accept her. She's like, how dare you make me uncomfortable? Everyone has secrets. That's why they're called secrets. The sin
That's how
is in
she
this.
starts it too, which I thought was very interesting. She's like, everyone has secrets. That's why they're called secrets. It's like that's sort of like her big stance up front.
Yep. Not going in the right direction.
Yeah, she says the sin is in the scandal. It's in saying it out loud. And she asked Santana to leave this house and not come back. She never wants to see her again.
Which I was totally confused about, because even though Santana came out to her parents, she said it off, like she said it and it was off screen. So I thought the house she was in was the house where she lived, not her house. So I thought she was being kicked out, and I was really confused as to why her parents weren't there and like fighting for her. Like, I thought they all lived in the same house, because she always talks about her grandmother like being a big part of raising her, which I just assumed they all lived in the same house.
Yeah.
Right.
So apparently not.
I think that would be a great, I think also a simpler revision that provides more drama and more interesting content would be to, if they live in the same house, it simplifies the whole dynamic, and then also kind of would give us that really interesting sort of back and forth between generations and, who thinks what. It really provides a sort of natural dialogue for this this topic that people at that time and still now would need to see.
I also want to go back for a second. When she says that she came out to her parents off screen and that it went totally well, did anyone catch that Brittany was surprised and didn't know that she had come out to her parents?
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
she goes, "You did?" It's like really quiet.
Interesting.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? How does she not know?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
it's possible that she told Brittany and Brittany just didn't know what she was
Forgot.
talking about.
Yeah,
That's true.
she could have been like coming out, like she maybe misunderstood the words coming out,
Yeah.
and she's
Well-
like, "Oh, that's what you meant."
Yeah, I think the lack of Brittany in this episode, particularly in the coming out scenes,
Yeah,
like if you're coming out and you have a partner, I totally get your partner not being there when you come out because that can be really uncomfortable. Like, say Brittany was there in the room with Abuela when she's saying all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, not
that's a
good.
bad situation. So I get Santana being alone, but I
Going-
don't.
to her afterwards.
Correct. I don't get Brittany being not part of the storyline at all.
Yeah.
No.
Brittany was barely in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which
This
is-
episode is.
and
Go ahead.
she's like a critical part of a different storyline, and she's like barely even there. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So she's actually a critical part in both storylines, but she's barely there. Like it's confounding.
In the background the whole time.
Yeah.
This can take me to my other staff theory about why this episode is the way that it is.
Ooh.
It's written by Matthew Hodgson, who was a staff writer for the show at the time, and he was dating Naya Rivera. And
Oh, interesting.
there was some outrage in the fandom when it was revealed that he would be the one writing this episode, because I have no idea if this is true. I have no inside knowledge to him as a person, but I can say the perception in the fandom at the time was that he felt the entire Britannia storyline was basically fan service and not really the direction the show should have ever been headed in. Not that he's homophobic or anything like that, but I mean, Ryan Murphy's admitted himself the reason that Britannia became a thing was because the fans cried out for it so loud.
Mhm.
So I think there was the perception that he basically wrote Brittany out of the episode because he didn't want to deal with having to write his girlfriend having emotional love scenes with a woman.
That's interesting.
That's complex
Yeah.
Yes.
for sure.
Again, I have
Interesting.
no comment on whether that's actually true or not. But
It is
I can say,
conjecture.
yeah, but I can say it probably wasn't the smartest move to have him write the episode.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
Santana's storyline kind of ends with her singing a Melissa Etheridge song, Constant Craving. She says it gives her strength to hold on. And she,
Oh, I didn't realize that was Melissa Etheridge too. So there's two Melissa Etheridge songs.
yeah.
I've never heard this song before. Ever. And well,
Really, before Glee?
yeah, no, I've never heard it. And the entire time that she was singing it, all I was thinking of was like food cravings. That's it. I was just like, okay, chocolate,
That's valid. Yeah.
Beatles, popcorn. Just like random food cravings.
Yeah, I've heard it before, and before Glee. But yeah, I didn't realize it was Melissa Etheridge. I don't know where I heard it before. They're like random songs that I know of, and they're really popular songs I've never heard. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but this is Santana singing to the group, and then
We get some cutaways to some other storylines.
which I thought that was kind of rude. I wanted Santana to have her moment, you know.
Yeah, I thought it was a good dramatic moment, but I did think, I was like, how
Right.
dare you take a Melissa Etheridge song and use it for some straight content?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like really
Melissa Etheridge
inappropriate
songs.
content. Yeah,
Both Melissa Etheridge songs were used
both for
Oh,
straight
yes.
purposes.
Yep. Yeah, that was weird.
That is a war crime.
Especially the purposes
Yeah.
that they were using for in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of which, Matthew Morrison
also,
is
can
the
we
Grinch.
talk about can we talk about how Santana like takes pretty much no action in the whole episode except coming out to her abuela?
She's a woman.
action.
She's passive. She has to receive from
Everyone
men.
just sings. Like, I wouldn't even consider that an action. That's just like, that's also very passive. They're not doing anything except. So this storyline literally is a straight line, and it doesn't do anything.
It's like a dot.
Yeah, it's not even a line.
It's
just
not even two-dimensional. It's one-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's bananas. Or as some would say, bonkers.
Bonkers, take a drink.
I don't have any drink left.
Yeah, I'm almost out, so I took a tiny sip.
So that's the end of the Santana storyline. What other comments do we have?
On Santana?
Yeah, on that storyline. Did we say it all?
I guess, like, I mean, we didn't really spend that much time on Santana's conversation with her grandma, but, like, I only very briefly remembered it. Like, I basically remembered the close-ups on Santana's face is what I really remembered. And, like, her crying, like, I'm not gonna, like, I definitely teared up. And it was, like, it's just one of those things that, like, it reminds me again of, like, how powerful Glee could have been to, like, have this moment on screen, this representation, you know, someone seeing that in their own lives. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
So it was a good reminder of, like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, Glee has a lot of these moments that are like, that are actually are representative and, you know, kind of help get people to talk about certain things. And yeah, so it was very, very impactful.
Yeah, Naya Rivera acted the hell out of that scene, especially when she was like,
it broke my heart all over again, honestly.
Yeah,
in so many ways.
I'm the same person that was here a minute ago. That line got me.
Absolutely.
I've never been in this situation, but I have a very warm and welcoming family. So something like this is almost completely foreign to me, and it really opened up my eyes as to, like, how other families function.
Yeah, I mean, like, my experience was very blasé compared to this and other people's experiences. So, like, but I've seen stuff like this happen with my friends. So it's like, I
could never come out to my grandparents.
Really?
Yeah. No.
I don't even think I fully came out to my grandma. I think just, like, my mom and I have kind of talked about it in passing, and I think that's just maybe how my grandma knows, and she might be ignoring it. But, like, yeah, I mean, I could honestly, like, I could see this happening with other people in my family if I were to still be talking to them. If I were to come out to them, it could be a very similar conversation.
Yeah, I was told pretty explicitly that I could tell anyone I wanted, just not my great grandmother, because I might legitimately give her a heart attack. Like, they like feared her death if I told her.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was kind of a hard thing to hear. Like, oh, my existence could kill someone.
Right.
But then I had other members of my family who I thought, oh, I could never tell them, and then they found out on their own and were totally fine. So it's a mixed bag, really. Like, I don't think that you can really actually predict how someone's going to react until that moment hits them, because someone could think, oh yeah, I'm totally fine with it, but not my kid. You know? And you don't know the end of that sentence until it's their kid.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
It's very unpredictable.
Yeah. My last thought on the episode is that this episode was notoriously renamed I Hugged a Girl. And
yeah, you told me that.
In the fandom. Because she doesn't actually kiss any girls in the episode. She just hugs Brittany.
That's really true. That's crazy. Yeah, no, I thought about that. I was like, I remembered, like, oh, the title got changed. And then, like, toward the end, I was like, I get it. Yeah, I get it. No kissing happened.
Yep, so that's my thought.
How did they
What is
get anyone? There was no kisses at all. Straight, gay, bi.
Scooter and Sue.
Oh,
That's
that's right.
Scooter.
Cooter kissed a girl.
No. Okay. Can we just quickly talk about how like cooter is like a slang term, right? For vagina.
Yes,
And that's this guy's name. Thank you. Okay, like I'm just so confused. Like who would name him that and why? And why would Beast be like, I love Cooter? Like why? Why wouldn't she be like, can I call you Jeff? Can I call you Bob? Anything? What's your
She
middle
might
name?
like Cooter. You don't know.
That's true. I don't know. I'm very confused.
Do we want it? Let's talk about Beast.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. That was a pretty simple storyline.
So Beast is chatting with Emma and Will. She's eating a turducken at lunch.
Oh my God. In the holiday spirit that we just went through.
Yes.
Yes. And she is like, hey, like Cooter is like the man is the only one for me. Like I need to keep up my strength. My quadriceps are like jelly, and Will and Emma are obviously uncomfortable. And then it cuts to her lifting weights with him.
Because she's like, Cooter made me do something I thought I would never do.
Yes, I've been very busy at nights, is what she said.
I was like, I know what this is gonna be, but like it still got me. Like I still was like, okay, this is still kind of funny, and I'm mad that it's making me laugh. I don't want to give Glee the satisfaction.
Give it to him. That was a funny storyline.
No.
One of my favorite moments of the podcast is when I called Hannah a fake fan, and she was like, not a fan.
Yeah, accurate.
So then Sue, meanwhile, is plotting because of the ad is implying that Sue is lesbian, or as she calls it, a friend of Ellen. So she's like, why'd someone assume I'm a friend of Ellen just because I'm mannish and only wear tracksuits and coach a girls sport and married myself? And
She has a whole list.
someone remembered that she married herself, so they do remember some things that happened.
Right.
And she's like, I need to look for hookups, and she's looking through her list, and she's like, Matt Lauer, too much crying.
Booty calls is what it
Yes.
was literally like. It was literally like a journal that someone had definitely printed on the front. Sue's booty calls, and I was like, I want that journal.
She had Vladimir Putin on there.
Saw that.
Oh, I did not see that. Oh my God.
I was like, why don't you call him?
And she talked about who was it? Oh God, what's his name? Not Alec Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin. And she's like, basically like he's a nutcase. I'm like, crazy person.
So she picks her man. Better luck next time, David Boreanaz.
But we don't actually see
who it is.
Who it is, yes. And the scene before this was when B said, what was it? I can't imagine my life without him.
Something like that,
when she's talking about Cooter.
He's the only man for me.
Yes, that. And then I immediately was like, they're going to take him away from her.
Yeah.
And then, she's at Beast is at Breadsticks ordering like the double chicken banger chicken.
Okay, how is this place called Breadsticks when it's literally like, I think she got taquitos?
Yeah.
And I was like, what does Breadsticks serve? Are they like an Applebee's or they just kind of do everything? I assumed they were Italian.
They're Italian with like one meal from every different ethnic group. Yeah. So basically a Midwest Italian restaurant.
Right.
Yeah, they have the menu of Cheesecake Factory.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Breadsticks is Cheesecake Factory, but like way cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Beast sees Cooter with Sue, And Becky is taking their picture, and she's like, get that to the Lima Times ASAP. And Beast is like, what's going on over here? And Sue is like, I'm on a date with my man on the town. And she's like, this is the date? And Cooter's all like, yeah. And she's like, how come, like, he's like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm not okay. And he's like, I never knew you were into me. I asked you out. And you
Sue's gone at this point, right?
Sue leaves, yeah.
Yeah.
I asked you out, and you always wanted to, like, lift weights or go to a protein seminar. And I tried to hold your hand, and you punched me. And she's like, it was a reflex. I thought you were trying to grab my class ring.
I'm confused because last time we saw them, didn't they, like, the presumption was that they went on a date?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so then how does that equal they don't know that they like each other? Because, like, I got the impression when, like, she was saying, like, you know, we've been spending a lot of time together. And then even with the bench press thing, like, I thought that was just, like, they were getting, like, serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were serious. And this was like, oh, yeah, like, every couple of days, this is what they do. So then, like, this made no sense to me. It really wasn't until, like, he was like, oh, yeah, like, I've just been really confused. Because when he was like, are you okay? I was like, no, she's not okay. Like, you're cheating on her. And then I'm like, oh, wait, you're not? What?
It was very confusing. Yeah.
All off screen.
It was basically all off screen. And like, I don't know, like, they get to this whole thing being like a miscommunication or something. And I'm like, but it doesn't
But
make
he
any
literally was
sense.
like, I want you to dress up like a lady. I'll dress up like a gentleman. We'll go out on an actual date.
Like, maybe they did that once. Yeah, they did it once and then nothing after that. And I'm like, but you already knew that she takes things very literally. So if you wanted to go on another date, you should have said the same thing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Cooter's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
Yeah. And so then they're at the election, and it's like the student election. There's like this huge line. In the real election, there's not.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I was confused about. Hi, Suki, please.
Suki's getting sad. That's her automatic.
She heard the word election. She was like, shut up, stop talking about it.
Stress eating.
Probably. I've been. Anyway, so I was confused because, like, the student election is happening. You can see that, you know, we'll talk about it, I guess, later. But then Beast and Emma and Will come up and they're like, oh, yeah, we have to go vote. And I was like, you're voting in the student election? Did I miss something?
No, it's also the other election is at the same time.
When did they announce that?
They showed the real election, and they showed that there was like no lines.
So the real election is happening, and that's why they come up to Beast, and she's like, I shouldn't have volunteered the real election to be in the gymnasium or something like that.
Oh, that's what she meant. Okay. I remember hearing that and being like, I have no idea what she's talking about. It's another weird thing she's saying.
So they're doing real politics and fake politics in the same gymnasium on the same day.
Yeah.
And Sue is making out with Cooter and like and
you cannot get over this name. When does he get hit by a boulder? So we can stop talking about him.
And yeah, he'll have an interesting plot development later on.
What?
I didn't say anything.
You said something. Don't say anything else.
And
I thought you were taking us through the house. I was like, oh, hey.
No.
And Becky comes up to Beast with a picture and is like, here's a picture from Sue. She hopes it rubs it in your face. And it's of her and Cooter kissing. And her eyes are open. It literally
is like the second. It's like the second after, like, you see them kissing and there's like a picture taken, and then Becky shows up literally not even a minute later with a Polaroid. And I was like, is that supposed to be that, like, they just took it when she was sitting there looking at them and then they gave her proof of it too? Like,
Yes.
that was honestly, like, that was pretty clever. That was,
Yeah.
There were some funny things in this episode. Don't tell Ryan Murphy I said that.
We won't.
We will never talk to him.
And Emma is like, it's okay. And Willow's like, when this is all over, Sue will lose the election and the guy. And I'm like, how do you know that, Will? But okay. That's my Will Schuster voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then she sings Jolene. Beast is looking at Sue and Cooter sadly, and she sings Jolene. And she has a sad montage watching Sue and Cooter work out, and Sue make primp in the mirror.
That was the weirdest workout scene I've ever seen.
And also Quinn is also involved in this sequence too.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
It's a weird song. And
I
like,
could understand Sue, but I didn't get Quinn.
this is what, the second song that
Like
we've
Shelby
heard
is
Beast
Jolene.
sing?
What'd you say?
Is this the second song we've heard Beast sing?
Yeah, the other one was another country song.
She has
I
like
don't
a
remember what
pretty
song
good
she sings
voice.
It
before or
was-
after this.
I really liked this cover, actually. Yeah. I couldn't. The sequence was weird.
It was
Like I got the stuff like with her and Sue, but I don't know.
Oh, is it when she's at the honky tonk bar getting drunk with Will?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Oh, was that Blame It on the Alcohol?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one
R.I.P.
of
my
my favorite
sanity.
episodes. I love that
gosh.
episode.
I actually had a lot of fun during that episode, and our guest was furious about the whole episode, and then I was like, oh my god, I mean, she's kind of right about some of the stuff, but I'm like, I also laughed a lot.
Right.
Like, I get it, but also I kind of had fun. And that never happens. Like, I think I started that episode being like, guys, this never happens. I had a good time.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, she sings Jolene. Then later Sue loses the election in with third place, 16% of the vote. And Kurt's dad Bert wins.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank you. Good for Ohio.
Ohio did one right thing there.
And Sue, and so then Beast comes in and is like, Cooter, I love you, and I'm sorry I let a pretty blonde get in the way. Like, I want to be with you. Like, I want to make myself clear. And he's like, I have feelings for you, but I still have feelings for Sue.
Okay, first, can we discuss the fact that Sue makes him sit on a yoga ball, and then she and Beast are talking about Cooter and their own relationship with Cooter while he's in the room watching this happen. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was like the epitome of two jealous women going at each other's throats with the man in the room, and it was just so strange. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah. Women pitted against women.
Glee loves
over a
that.
man. Over Cooter.
Over Cooter.
Over Cooter
And,
Lincolns.
the weird, he doesn't even
He wears mock turtlenecks with blazers. Guys, no.
in this scene, he's not even, it's very strange because he's definitely an object instead of a person. And it's just super weird. I was not there for it.
Agree.
Beast is like, I love you, and I'm not going down without a fight, and then exits before they can really resolve the scene.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be an actual fight.
I wouldn't be surprised. But we've only seen blood once in this entire series.
When was that?
When was that?
It was when
Jinx?
Rory got a bloody nose
Oh, yeah.
during dodgeball.
Oh, yeah. And that's why they called it a stoning.
Yeah.
Dodgeball's a rite of passage. Whatever.
So let's talk about the election storyline. I'm sorry.
Oh, man.
So Brittany is handing out pixie sticks and is promising everyone sugary treats because that's what George Washington said. It improves focus. And then Rachel is walking down the halls and she's like, I haven't been this worried about an election in so long. Like,
In a voiceover, one of 70.
And she's like,
since Allen versus Lambert, right?
yeah.
Incredible.
And she's like,
Really? I thought Adam Lambert, well, I guess no, I don't know when that was. I remember watching that season. We're talking about American Idol.
No, I know.
What was the other
remember
guy's
this
name?
season.
What was the other guy's name? Who didn't, or did he
Chris
win?
Allen. Chris Allen and Adam Lambert.
It was
Chris Allen win, or was it Adam
I
Lambert?
remember this because they like counted
Allen.
it and then they announced someone the winner and then they recounted and they discovered that it was like not right, but they didn't correct it. It was a fuck up. Like they fucked up that season.
Interesting. I
Mhm.
vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Because I remember thinking Adam Lambert should have won, and then he didn't, and then they found out later he actually did win, but they didn't fix it.
yeah. Injustice, but only one of them
Just
got
goes to
be on
show
Glee.
that all electoral systems are awful.
We should just have everything run by dictators.
I honestly was so triggered by the word election and just all of that talk in general. I was like, oh God, there's a whole storyline dedicated to it.
I mean, it's just so much easier when you just like kill the previous ruler and then you can take their spot. And
Yeah.
then you know that whoever comes and murders you for your ruling position is going to be the next ruler. It's so
Mhm.
much simpler.
Yep.
So
And
Rachel-
everyone always falls in line with that.
Assassination, it's just like, 2 thumbs up, guys.
All right, more advice you should
Please don't take that
So Rachel is like, everyone's so wrapped up in their own little worlds, they can't see how important this election is to me, which I thought was hilarious.
Because she wants to be able to go to New York, and if she can't go to New York without her favorite best gay, because what if she needs a makeover or an emergency souffle?
I was so offended by this. And it was just like, why are you friends with why is Kurt friends with her? Why? She's
Good
not a
question.
good friend.
She tries to be this episode, but for her own reasons. Yeah.
For herself. She does it for herself.
Yeah. And so Rachel's worried. And so Kurt is like, I'm going to lose unless I pull a JFK. And Rachel's like, you're going to shoot Brittany?
See what I said about assassination?
And he's like, no, JFK's mob friends stuffed the boxes in Illinois, and that's how he won.
Is this real? I asked Cullen this during the episode. Is this a real thing, or is this
Yes.
one of those bonkers things that Glee puts in episodes? It's a real thing. Crazy. Didn't know that.
Alcohol. Can't drink.
Bonkers.
Yeah. As far as I know, the story is that Sinatra and his mob buddies in Chicago stuffed the ballot boxes.
Frank Sinatra?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's Gleeboot's history corner
I don't know if that's true. That's just the story.
of the story.
Things were simpler, We could have stuffed the ballot boxes instead of, screwing up the electoral vote with mail-in ballots.
Okay.
I'm so very triggered.
I'm sorry.
So back to Glee. So the election is happening, and everyone's like, Brittany's winning, and they're coming up to Kurt. They're like, any final losing comments? And Finn and Rachel are like, shoo. Not shoe, but shoo. Oh, gosh. Alex.
Shoo.
I'm in my nephew's room.
Good thing we're on the headphones then.
I just had to bring that one out.
Oh boy.
Right. That was probably riveting podcast for your viewers.
Riveting podcast.
Nothing. And then you're laughing.
Yeah, it's okay.
Who are you trying to convince, Cullen?
Myself.
Here, put it on the TikTok. If you want to know what we were laughing about, check the TikTok.
Check the TikTok.
Maybe you guys gotta pull on the TikTok what it was.
Yes.
Ooh, clever.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the election happens, and then Rachel comes up to Beast after she sings Jolene and is like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I am. Are you?" And Rachel's like, "Yes." But she's carrying this giant bag as she goes in to go vote. We see other characters going to vote. We see Mike Chang voting for Kurt. We see Mercedes like, "Thank you for private ballots because I'm voting for Kurt because I could not stand Santana if Brittany wins." And Quinn is like, "Just like my dad always voted for the least ethnic candidate, I'm always voting for the candidate that's most girl." She checks Brittany.
I mean, okay. I did not like Russell Fabre when I met him, and then I don't like him now in this subtext. Don't like it.
We're not Russell fans. We don't stan.
Mm-mm.
No, we do not stan Russell Fabre.
What got you? Was it when he said that Hannity was on or something?
Yeah, probably.
I didn't like this entire
back
sequence.
then, I'm not even gonna get into it. Never mind.
In the present moment, I didn't like anyone. I didn't like seeing what they voted for. I just didn't. It didn't seem necessary to me. And also, maybe this is just like a me thing and like a me family thing, but voting is a very private thing. Like, other people should know who you vote for. And like, even my mom and dad hold that rule. They don't tell each other who they vote for.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
that's just something I grew up with. So being in the booth with these people and seeing their votes, personally, for me, felt like an invasion of privacy. And I didn't like that as a viewer.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I did not care about the storyline at all.
Mm-hmm.
I continue to not care about it while we talk about it because the stakes that they put on it, like I've said this multiple episodes in a row now, like the stakes don't make sense because it's kind of Kurt's fault and was Rachel's fault for not doing theater stuff to have on their resume to get into a school that is for theater. So it's like,
Right.
I kind of like, from a logical standpoint, don't care. And then like that makes it really hard for me even as like a viewer to be like caring about this because I went through that process of like having to do stuff to put on my resume and applications for college. So I'm like, but I knew that I was supposed to do that like at a certain point, certain things I had to do, like didn't just come out of the blue. So
Yeah.
logic, like the real-time logic, the real world logic really fucks with my ability to like really latch on to this. And so like, I literally didn't care who anyone was voting for. I was like, I bet half these people would just forget that the vote was even happening. Also, it's funny they actually had like
in the wrong time of year anyway.
Yeah, they're doing it. We don't know. This is in November. It's
Yeah.
and I'm like, you guys are 3 months into school and you're just now voting for senior class president. They're going to have 5 months to actually do what? What are they going to do? Anyway, I digress. But I think that like, it's really interesting that they even have to like go to the gym and vote. Like we literally were given it in our history class, I think. Like everyone went through that class that day when we were voting and we spent 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, in class. We had our ballots at our desks. We had our little folders up. We did it and then we turned it in and then we did class. So like,
Yeah. I think we all just did it at homeroom.
yeah, I was like, it seems much more simpler, but whatever.
We just had like a ballot box in our lunchroom and it was open all day. and you just went whenever you had a free period.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, they made us vote. We were required to vote.
Yeah, because Kurt comes up and he's all like, the difference between my dreams coming true and managing a Sonic burger come down to how many people check a stupid box. And I'm like, Kurt, the only one responsible for your dreams is you. That's a big leap to make, but also like, you're the one who didn't do anything else. Like that's up to you. And also, you can go to college a year late. There's lots of different things you can do.
Yeah, and like, okay, I'm just putting this out there, but even if you didn't get into NIATA, there's a lot of different theater programs to get into. And even if you don't go into theater, like you can go into literally anything else besides the Sonic.
Yeah.
You know, like you probably have good grades, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
He seems like a good grade kind of guy.
I think it's hard to, we have the perspective of hindsight. We've done the college process. We've done the graduate school process. Like we know that your whole life doesn't depend on whether you're student body president or class president. So
true.
But I didn't even run for any of those. And I'm like, I still ended up doing what I wanted to do. Right. So
sure.
But it does bring me back. You're right. It brings me back to being in high school and thinking whatever I was doing was the end all be all. And if it didn't work out, my life was going to fall apart.
Yeah. Like I didn't have a whole lot of extracurriculars other than sports. And I wasn't pursuing anything athletic after high school. So I remember applying for colleges and thinking the only things I've done have nothing to do with what I'm trying to do after this. And I was really afraid. So yeah, I look back on it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, Kurt, like your life is not over. And same with you, Rachel, your life's not over. But I do remember being 17 and feeling like my life could be over because all I did was play softball, cue the laugh track. Yeah.
But it's,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember caring that much in high school.
I was dramatic, so yes. So then after the election, Kurt is called in by Figgins to the principal's office because he won, but he won by a suspiciously wide margin with more votes than there are seniors in the senior class. And Bert is like, did you cheat? And he's like, why am I here? And Kurt's like, I thought about it, but I didn't do it. And Bert's like, you thought about it? He's like, no, I worked really hard on this. And they're just kind of staring at him like you could be suspended. And then Kurt steps out of the hallway and tells Rachel and Finn, like, I could be suspended for this, but I didn't do it. And Finn, he leaves. He's like, I'm going to go find Blaine. And Finn's like, I didn't do it. And Rachel's like, I did. And he's like, you need to tell Figgins. And she's like, then I could get suspended. And then he's like, but then Kurt could be suspended.
If you don't, yeah.
So you're right. She's not the best of friends.
No.
No. Because also at the beginning, she said that she wanted Kurt to win so that they could go to NIATA together. She did it for herself.
Yeah.
So she was wanting that for herself. Then this stuff in the ballot box, she was like, I couldn't have him lose because he needs us to get in. She needs him. So it's she did it for herself, not so Kurt could actually win.
She didn't do it smartly.
She's smarter than that. She would know to be like, okay, I need to take out this many ballots and then put this many in. Mm-hmm. She's smarter than that.
Yeah, they just kind of made her an idiot for this one moment, and I wasn't there for it.
She's like, yeah, I wasn't thinking. And it's like, okay, that's your excuse.
I feel like they do a lot of in the writers' room, they were probably like, wow, what a pickle for them to be in. Let's just put them in it. And no thought to how they would logically get there.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah.
And then also do lean back like you did with your head on their hands on their head, what a pickle. I bet you that's another insider clip from the writers' room.
100%.
That happened.
I was in the writers' room, in case you guys didn't know.
Gosh, shit, all that insider information.
No, I wasn't. I really wasn't.
How old would you have if you were in there?
In season 3, I was a freshman in college, so I would have been 18, 19.
Not bad. That would have been like a good reference for them.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh my god, a former teenager who was like just a teenager."
Yeah, I was a year ahead of the characters.
Yeah, I was on the same
year. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Rachel Annette tells Figgins, and she comes into the school she's walking in the hallway during constant craving, crying, and she announces to the Glee Club that she is suspended for 1 week. And it goes on her permanent record, and it bars her from competing in sectionals.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, that's another thing that got me. It was like, she was also like not thinking about how like that could impact the team as well. Not even just like her reputation, like her reputation is now tarnished. Like she's gonna be considered a cheater, like, or people could like get that from her record being like, oh, you cheated. Like, that's pretty serious. Yeah, I just like this consequence. I think it's a good dramatic consequence of like, now she can't compete. But like, that's just like another thing that like, I get that she was a kid and she couldn't like think that far ahead. But also like, it just comes down to the fact that like, she did it for herself. And it's kind of like, well, sucks to suck, I guess.
You think she's going to learn another lesson?
No. She'll learn it and then she's immediately going to forget it.
Yeah.
And then she's going to do something else horribly selfish and learn another lesson, and the cycle continues. I mean, if she wasn't learning lessons, if people in the show weren't doing terrible things and learning lessons and then doing more terrible things, etc., Glee would not exist.
Totally.
Accurate.
I think that they fell into a big trap of thinking that, and I feel like I'm channeling every professor we had at BU when I tried to write a storyline like this, but I feel like they fell into the trap of thinking that helping another character's storyline is a storyline, and it's like, it's not. So if I spend all my time trying to help Hannah do something, I'm a supporting character in Hannah's storyline. And trying to make it my story that I'm helping someone else, that's not a plot line.
Yeah.
I'm just assisting someone else. And I think that they fell into that trap with Finn and Rachel in this episode. Like Finn is assisting Santana, not really. And Rachel is assisting Kurt, not really.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of made the whole episode feel like a whole lot of nothing happened.
Yeah. I felt very underwhelmed. Like, I kind of didn't really feel anything after the episode. I was kind of just like, okay, that was an episode.
Yeah.
Normally I either just had fun or I'm enraged.
Is this better than enraged?
Nothingness? Yeah.
Boredom is better than rage. Okay.
You heard it first, kids.
It's better for my blood pressure, that's for sure.
So speaking of rage, let's quickly go through the Pelby storyline.
Yes.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. No.
Yeah, that happened.
So
I'm coincidentally watching a teacher. So
oh really?
Both of those storylines in my immediate reference.
Okay, so that's actually a good point. So we learned last episode or the episode before that Puck is 18. In that show, is a kid 18 or is he underage?
This is the Hulu show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A teacher.
A teacher. I'm going to estimate about 30 seconds. If you don't want me to spoil the teacher, just like skip ahead 30 seconds. But long story short, he's underage at the beginning of the series. And one of the episodes is him turning 18. And their sexual relationship starts before he's 18.
Okay.
Yeah. But at this point in the series, if you're caught up, he is 18.
Yeah, I've read the synopsis for that, browsing on Hulu, and I was just kind of like, I'm going to skip it.
Yeah, you're like, I already have that with Glee right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
I've got a lot of student relationships on my plate. Too many. Too many. Yeah, I don't like this.
Is it good at all?
A teacher?
Yeah.
Very good.
Interesting. Okay.
I love it. Like it's a horrible real life scenario, but the quality of the show is fantastic. And I do like at the end of every episode, they have a resource that's their show. Like they have a website called like ateachersomething.com. And it's resources, I think, for kids who are finding themselves in that situation and are like realizing, oh, I'm in an uneven power dynamic right now. And I thought that this was consensual and I'm maybe realizing it's not.
Interesting.
That's good. I like that.
So, yeah. So they're not flaunting it like we're just being artists and we're doing something salacious. They're like, no, we understand we're talking about a real thing that requires attention.
Yeah, that's something that always gets me with various things. I think that's a really important part of, obviously this is a tangent, but a very important part of like media literacy and specifically with like creative stuff is like having something like that at the end being like, hey, like, yeah, this is a show, but also like this is something that happens and it's not great. And here's stuff that you can do about it.
Well, I mean, I always remember we were in, what was that genres class where we were talking about Lolita and whether or not it could be actually adapted in a way that is beneficial. Oh, it was adaptations. Yeah.
Same teacher.
But
if Lolita had a thing about, pedophilic relationship resource at the end, I don't know if that would have made it better.
I don't know either. But like obviously a teacher is able to tackle that. Wow. Hi.
Is it okay? Cullen is off screen right now, so we're ordering pizza.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but I don't. It's a question. It's always been a question. Like, what can you do and what can you not do? And if you do it, can you do it well? And I mean, Glee has its own slew of issues that it tries to tackle and probably does not do well. Actually, definitely doesn't do well. So
I can tell you in terms of like responsible storytelling, if you're going into like the resources and everything like that, I think that they have very different approaches, the two shows. I would say that a teacher is not trying to make you want them to be together.
Okay, that's good.
I feel like Glee's approach to Puck and Shelby, there's a lot of sympathizing and trying to convince us that this could be a good thing.
Yeah.
And a teacher doesn't do that. A teacher shows them thinking that what they're doing is a good idea, but the show itself does not try to make you feel that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
who's the main character? Is it the teacher or the student?
I'd honestly say both.
Okay. Cool.
But if you had to pick one, it would be the teacher. But the student gets so much of his own story that I would say it's dual.
Okay. Interesting.
Despite Scott Thompson's insistence that doesn't exist.
Hey, he had a lot of good things to say. I am also on the boat that you can have more than one main character.
Yeah. Definitely.
Controversial topics.
Hot takes with some
Thompson.
lingo.
Does he listen to the show? I guess we'll find out.
If you do, Scott, I absolutely adore you. I just think that there could be more than one protagonist.
Same.
Yeah.
So Puck sings Melissa Etheridge, I'm the Only One, to supposedly help Santana, but he's really singing it at Shelby, and Quinn's the only one that seems to notice, despite it being pretty
There's so
obvious.
many layers of how offensive that is to Melissa Etheridge. There are just so many layers to that. I'm not going to get into them. One of them is the fact that like it's to a straight relationship, and it's like, what's the point anymore?
Justice for Melissa.
It's just for Melissa Etheridge.
Yeah.
Totally.
I was glad that somebody caught on that he was singing it to Shelby. Like, it was very, very obvious Quinn has a brain.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not like Puck was that good that everyone was just enthralled with his performance. Like, no. Like,
No.
I did not think it was good at all.
Like, none of these people know how to read a room. Like,
right.
I don't get it.
We know Shu doesn't because what song? Oh, Hot for Teacher. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that should fucking clue him in. Like, yeah. He doesn't know how to read a room because he was into that. And clearly his intention wasn't that talking about he was hot for teacher. It was a couple episodes ago. Anyway.
That was last episode. Yeah.
That was last episode.
Yeah. So Quinn then comes up to Puck and is like, hey, I think you rock that song. I think you need to get your eyesight checked because you were singing it at Shelby. And he's like, oh, I was singing it so she would think of us as like good options for Beth. The song was mainly about babysitting for me.
There's a Freudian slip there. He said me, and then he corrected himself to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Quinn is like, my mom is going on a Christian wine tasting boat tour down the Ohio
A
River.
Jesus booze cruise. I loved that.
Can I tell you that I can see a lot of my family members actually doing something like that?
I want to know
Same.
what they do. Like, is there like Bible study or is there like someone cosplaying as Jesus? Like
pouring wine?
The apostles?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. Or there's like a magician dressed up as Jesus and he turns water into wine. He's like, turns, lots of loaves and fishes. Yeah, that's what I want on my Jesus.
Loaves and fishes. So that translates to fish and chips.
Exactly. He's like, oh, one basket, and then he goes like, poof, and then there's like a whole array, a giant buffet of fish and chips. But that's the only thing you eat. That and like unleavened bread.
The magician is actually the cook.
Yeah, he's Jesus, he's the cook, and he's the magician. Yeah,
Well, yeah.
I'm 100% here for this.
I want to be on this cruise.
it's a Gleeboot offshoot. We're doing a Jesus booze cruise.
The
I know
Gleeboot
lots of cosplayers. I'm sure they'd be down.
I'm calling it the Gleesus Booze Cruise. Gleesus Booze Cruise.
Gleesus
Got it.
booze cruise. Oh my god, we could have grilled cheeses. It's happening. This is an idea. This is all being cut out. I don't want anyone to steal this idea.
And we're back. Hi.
Thanks to our sponsor, Purple Mattress. I wish.
It'll make you jump for joy.
Triggered.
So Quinn is like, my mom is going on a Jesus Boost cruise. I have the house to myself. We could order in, maybe you rent a movie and not watch it. And he's like, no, thank you. I used to be pretty into you, but no thanks. And she's like, let me be more clear. If you hang out with me, you get to have sex with me. She does her Quinn whisper that you guys love so much.
Yeah. Which is just above.
Whisper?
Or just below her actual voice.
Yes. And he's like, actually, you're more high maintenance than Barry, and you're so selfish. And I used to think you're really hot, but I'm not interested anymore.
What is his exact wording? He says, I would rather...
Raw dog a beehive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's one way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
It is.
TMI.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind him doing that. Maybe he could learn some things.
A lesson learned by Puck instead of Rachel.
Yeah.
So Puck is in class, and he's really good at solving the math problem. And if you notice, he's in class with the juniors, Tina, Artie, and Blaine. So they actually is some continuity for once in Glee's life.
Wait, is he a junior?
He's a senior, but he'd be probably behind in math.
Yeah. But But she just asks, what is the quadratic equation? And that's not an easy one you can just like say out loud. Like that's when like you write it on the board.
Yeah.
He does it, I guess, good for him.
Yeah. Apparently he is good at math. Just has problems
And why is
applying.
he with the juniors?
He just doesn't
applied
put
himself.
forth the effort that he needs to, but he's actually really smart.
There you go. I'll buy that.
I thought it was because Shelby subbed for his geometry class, so now he paid attention.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he actually literally says, yeah, I'm actually good at math because I have to do the bookkeeping for my pool business.
Oh.
So real life experience, I guess, trumps schoolwork. Now he's good at math, which kind of is accurate.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And then, but he gets a call from Shelby, and he runs over to the hospital, and Shelby's there nervous because Beth fell and her tooth went through her lip. And there was blood everywhere. Yeah. Which we didn't see, off-screen blood.
It was off screen.
And then the doctor comes in and is like, oh, just simple, she'll need stitches. And Puck's like, I live an active lifestyle, so I've had more stitches than Frankenstein. So I want Beth to see a plastic surgeon.
I think they mean Frankenstein's monster.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so they're like, he's like, I want Beth to see a plastic surgeon. And so then it cuts.
And
after.
the doctor's like, okay, I'll page her. I'm like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
It is really dumb, but also Puck isn't the one who should be making any of the medical decisions.
Right?
Like the doctor would be like, and you are, and why are you here? And like, how are you related?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Shelby
exactly.
is a
Like,
woman.
is your name on this HIPAA form?
Thank you. Yeah.
Shelby is a woman.
gonna
She's
say
not
HIPAA.
allowed to make decisions.
Oh my God. So
According
You're
to
right,
the
you're right.
universe, she has to be helpless the moment her child is
oh
injured.
my God. It was like, obviously Beth has had more injuries. She's almost, 3 years old by now, right?
Yeah.
Almost 3 years
We
old.
have no
She
idea
would've had
how old this
Mr.
baby is.
Wait.
Injuries.
She'd be like 1.5-ish.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
not like really walking at all. Like we saw her and she was not like she did not look old enough.
They had the
Like how she
wrong
should-
age baby at one point, and then they had the right age baby.
Yeah, it was very weird.
Yeah, it was very strange. But I want to know where Shelby's family is. Like, they would be very involved, I would assume.
Isn't she from Lima? Isn't she from the area?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
where are Beth's
Presumably-
grandparents?
Right.
Why would she call Puck? If you're in that sort of situation, you want to call your mother who's actually done this before, right? So she would have
Is she
been
an
on the
orphan?
phone with her mother, Beth's adopted grandmother, not Puck. No, he's a high schooler.
She says she doesn't have anyone else.
But why? I want to know.
I can't explain.
Is she an orphan? Is Shelby an orphan?
Who knows? We don't know anything about her.
I don't remember what's happened up to this point in her storyline, so I don't know what. I can't remember if I'd be spoiling anything. I feel like I wouldn't be.
I don't know what you're talking about. So
I really don't know enough. I'd have to go back and watch the earlier episodes to see if what I'm thinking of happened like a long time ago and you definitely already know, or if it happens later. So I'm just not going to say anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Shelby could be an orphan, or she could be disowned from her family, or
something.
the show's
She
just like
did-
hiding
she
her
did get
family from
pregnant.
us.
Yeah.
But so she calls Puck, and afterwards it cuts to a post-coital scene, a scene of aftermath.
What a horrible use of that sacred term.
So sorry, Scott Thompson.
Oh wow! I mean, you're right though. He would be kind of proud that you like use the terminology correctly. Oh, this is very confusing for me.
But so they just had sex, and he's like, I did a good job. Like, you're really pretty, and I have 4 more rounds in me before I need a steak sandwich and a Coke Zero. And she's like, you need to go. This was a mistake. You need to leave before Beth wakes up.
Okay, it took me a while to figure out that they had already had sex. Because
Me too. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a big question mark in my mind. The first shot we see is of Shelby like caressing Puck's legs under the sheet. And
yes,
so
I thought that
like,
was going to be
a lead-in.
Precursor.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that felt very much like foreplay to me.
Yeah.
So it took me a bit to figure out they'd already had sex.
Yeah, I wrote that too.
So he's like, when she tells him to leave, he's like, I think you're really brave, but you're a coward. And like, you're too scared. You're going to miss out on this great opportunity of being with me. And he leaves.
That is honestly like
every man's response to being rejected.
Yeah, he was like, you know what? You're missing out on something great because I'm a catch. I'm the best. And like, he's
I'm a cool
quite
guy in
literally,
Lima, Ohio.
Yeah, he's quite literally the worst. I don't like that he's the voice of reason for Quinn previously, and we'll soon talk about, but then like he's also trying to be like it's nothing like moral. It's basically like he's the one doing something right and she's doing something wrong. And I'm like,
right.
Why? Can the show stop making him some sort of like moral compass? Like, it's awful.
Yeah.
Well, if he's the moral compass, like, where in the world are our cardinal directions?
Yeah.
Some great map jokes.
Follow us for more map content.
Actually, one of the t-shirt ideas we had has the state of Ohio on it, and it's like, just look at Google Maps, Ryan. That's what the idea says. So we are very pro maps.
We are.
Yeah, and so then Puck is over at Quinn's house, and they're about to have sex, and he's like, I didn't bring protection, and she's like, it's okay, maybe we'll get lucky this time. And he's like, you mean unlucky? And she's like, well, we can make Beth was perfect. We can make another one. And he's like, oh, no. And then she's like, that's fine. There's like 20 other guys at this school that would want to be with me. And he's like, you're such a mess. Like, everyone has been helping Santana with a secret that everyone knows for the past week, and no one spent 10 seconds to help you. And you're a mess ever since I knocked you up. And she's like,
That's
you know
exactly
what?
how that works.
Ever since I knocked you up 3 years ago. No, he said, you've been a mess for 3 years ever since I knocked you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite match the timeline, right? Because she's a senior now, and she was a sophomore when she got knocked up. So that would be 2 years ago.
Correct.
Okay.
I think they literally thought we're in season 3. So it was 3 years ago.
Okay. Just
Yeah. This is
on
literally
that.
just the start of the 3rd year. So it's only been 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Beth is the second perfect baby. There's a first one that we don't know about.
Oh boy.
Quinn's trying to go for a 3rd. He's not wrong by saying that she's a little bit messed up right here, but honestly, I think that's only because the writers wanted her to be like, it's not.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the decisions they've made with Quinn.
No. And honestly, like, this is just, it's just the cherry on top, like, of a crazy nutso Sunday. Like, I don't understand why she's like this. I don't know why they wrote her like this.
Mm-mm.
Like, remember when she had that bang and pink hair and like she was like very off, but now she's tried to get Shelby, like, tried to get the baby taken away, and now she's like, let's have another baby. And I'm like,
Yeah, she definitely went off the deep end. And I feel like she wouldn't have done that. Like, Quinn is
Quinn is more stable than that.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
She kept it together pretty well while being a teenage pregnant girl kicked out of her house.
yes, she
was very
seems to be
cunning.
a responsible person, despite the fact that she got pregnant. Like that was an accident. Like,
Yeah. But this is just another scene of a man telling a woman how to feel, and she responds with, "You're right. I am a mess," basically. And she's like, "I'm gonna lie
Stay here and comfort me."
Yeah, I'm gonna lie down and you're gonna cuddle me. You're gonna hold me.
okay, I have a real question. Is that actually comfortable? That position that they were in did not look comfortable to me. It's just like, no.
The laying the head on top of the head, I don't think that's comfortable.
Does not look like a nice position.
But like spooning is comfy.
Yeah.
But the head on the head, I draw the line at that. You hear
especially
that?
when he's probably got like stubble or something. It's like all scratchy.
Yeah, the stubble will actually get like my hair. Like he'll like lift his head up and just like my hair just like sticks to it.
I don't know if I would even agree that spooning is comfy, but I run kind of like hot temperature wise, so I don't like anyone to touch me.
Yeah, no, I definitely will be like, okay, I think we're done.
Wait.
My problem is that we don't like facing the same way. Like I have to sleep facing the left and she has to sleep facing the right. So like any kind of spooning that happens has to happen like for a limited amount of time. Then it's like, okay, I have to go to bed now. One of us can.
I guess you guys kind of complete each other. You guys like look the opposite ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then during Constant Craving, Shelby sings at Puck as she's like walking down the hallway, a hallway song, and Puck looks away sadly at her and like ignores her. Yeah, and we forgot.
Yes.
We see Bert celebrating.
Oh, I was going to say something else.
But Bert won.
Did we end that scene of when like he's holding her and then he's like, I have something to tell you.
Oh yeah, he's like, I have something to tell you. And then during Constant Craving, Quinn is just glaring at Shelby in disbelief.
Yeah, and
Wait, does he actually tell her?
No,
off screen.
I would have loved that on camera.
Well, he just says like, yeah, I kind of do want to know Quinn's reaction, actually. Like, I get the writing logic of that, but yeah, no, I want to see Quinn be like, "Are you kidding me?
Stop touching me!"
Yeah. Be like, get out of my house.
Yeah.
Get out of my old lady bedroom.
Which, remember when her bedroom was like a Madonna statue and like a roaring fireplace?
Yeah, and now it's completely different. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was at her
Maybe
dad's house.
Quinn didn't want to have sex with him in her bedroom. So maybe that's the guest room.
Oh.
So it was her grandma's old room. Makes sense.
So that's headcanon. So that's the end of the episode. We made it through. Any final comments before Tina time? Bert won the election.
Why did he celebrate in the principal's office with champagne?
They didn't want to pay for a house set.
Because it had to be during the montage.
You right?
But can they not have that shot in a different place during the montage? It's the same.
Maybe because he's already there because he got called in for Kurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was his campaign manager, right?
Yeah.
So,
was he?
Yeah.
Just groans of discomfort.
Well, I think it's also like, this is completely side note of the episode, really, but like I think we should note that Bert won as a write-in candidate. That's pretty impressive.
That is impressive.
So that's exciting. Good things are happening in the state of Ohio in 2011 in the Gleeverse.
Yes.
Yes. I know notably Carol was not there for the celebration. They did not want to pay
she
that
doesn't
actress.
get to celebrate. Yeah, the new First Lady of Ohio, kind of.
God bless Carol.
We love her. We stand her. In this house, we stand Carol and Bert.
Yeah. So
Honestly,
now
though,
it is.
she's like the unsung hero.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tina time. Tina's
It's a quick one.
2 lines.
2.
She had 2 lines? 2. Oh my God.
I don't even remember them.
I don't either. I was like 0.
They're super short.
One of them was now. It's the word.
One word. I think the other one was 2 words, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember the other one. I just remember now.
3 words.
Yeah,
wow.
three words.
I feel like at a certain point, instead of counting lines, we're going to have to count words to make it seem like she talks more. Like if we really want to be like, she had 6 total words. Gonna make it sound even worse. Anyway, Tina time.
Yay.
She's also becoming increasingly more blonde.
Yeah.
Does she keep getting more highlights? I have not noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like fine. It's a great look. But I thought she was supposed to be a vampire. And not that vampires can be blonde, but like I don't know. I feel like she's going through an aesthetic change, which is awesome, but like why aren't we seeing it? What is that evolution?
I want an episode about Tina's aesthetic.
Yes, like how did that change? Like and that's
why?
What I want.
I want to know why it changed.
There's so many songs about changing. Like, come on.
Yeah.
True.
So now it's time for MVPs and LVPs. Alex, who is your least favorite character this episode?
Oh, goodness. Like the one I like the least, the one I think was most poorly written.
It could be either
way. Yeah.
Okay. Finn. And that's my answer for both questions.
Well, there you go.
There you go. That's a really good answer. I went with his girlfriend. I went with Rachel. Uber selfish. I actually think she was my least valuable player last week too. So.
Yikes.
But yeah, no, I second Finn being passive and also aggressive at the same time. It's called passive aggressive, but not really. I didn't like Finn either.
Yeah, at no point is he passive aggressive, but he is either passive or aggressive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good point, though. I'm going to go with Abuela because she was very cruel to Santana. And I don't like to think that people exist that would do that, but they definitely do. So Abuela has my vote.
I'm going with Kurt's sweater.
Which
one? That's a horribly written character. You're right.
You
which one? All right, let's talk about the second one. The second one was like a cape.
It was a poncho.
And it was a turtle. Yes, a poncho. It was a turtleneck, a fluffy turtleneck. But there's no sleeves. He was wearing like some sort of just long sleeve shirt underneath, and his hands just kind of pop out from his side, and it's awful.
Yep.
So not that one, nor the bedazzled handkerchief that he wore, but
right.
The sideways / crop top sweater.
Right.
Okay.
The asymmetrical crop top.
Because that would just be the most uncomfortable extra layer of clothing.
You wouldn't be able to move your
purposeless.
Yeah.
Purposeless. And not that but I feel like clothes, every layer you wear technically should have a purpose of like comfortability and style. And I don't think that is either.
And now we're just going into the discussion of function over fashion. So
true.
Yeah.
That's true. And that's a dicey subject. Oof. Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah, no, I also second that as well. Bad character.
Agreed. All around.
So Alex, who is your favorite character? Who is your most valuable player?
Brittany. She always has been, always will be. I don't care what the episode is. I love her.
She was in here for.
I mean, she was handing out candy. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good.
Yeah, she had the pixie sticks, which throwback. I haven't seen those in ages.
Yeah. Do they even still make them?
I don't know.
And she finds out that her girlfriend came out to her parents and then it went well. And instead of being upset, she was like just happy for her girlfriend. Like, that's so sweet.
true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Santana, even though she was like super mean to people. Still, like, I kind of feel like she handled her being sung at with grace, and she also like had to make a very tough conversation. Had to have a very tough conversation, and like regardless of how it turned out, like she was still like brave enough to do that. And yeah, I want to celebrate Santana this week.
Nice.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with Bert because he won.
Yay, Bert.
Yes, I think he was in the episode less than Brittany was.
Yeah.
But he won. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for him, and he's my MVP.
Nice.
I'm going with Cooter No.
I thought you were gonna be like Cooter Mankins turtleneck. Much better worn.
I'm gonna go with Santana as well. I thought she had a good balance between mean, but not so awfully mean that you couldn't. I mean, she made a joke about a jellervention for Blaine, but she wasn't talking so much about Finn's weight. It wasn't as. It was more funny, sassy, and less just like, "Oh my gosh, you're awful."
Jellervention referring to his hair gel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to clarify that.
Mhm.
And I thought she went through a lot this episode, and she went through a lot as a character, and I was proud of her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Totally.
So now the songs. So for songs, we have Perfect by Pink. We have I'm the Only One by Melissa Etheridge. Constant Craving by Melissa Etheridge. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Robert Maxford or whatever, but Cyndi Lauper. Hazard. Cyndi
Yeah.
Lauper in all our hearts.
Yeah, they did not fact check that for sure.
And I Kissed a Girl by the one and only Katy Perry.
Well, okay, can I look it up?
I didn't write them down.
Oh no. Never mind. What was this?
I love how you like pantomimed because you grabbed that and you looked like you were reading off it. You really fooled me. You got me. Good one. You're a good actor.
Thank you.
Wait, which of us? Who are you talking to?
Cullen. Yeah, he thought he was reading them off, but no.
Yes. Why were you looking at it?
Just to remember, just like to go through the motions. I have the whole episode written out there so I can quickly scan my memories of the episode.
Oh, I see. What was the second one?
I'm the Only One by Melissa Etheridge.
Yes. What?
Sung by Puck.
Puck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, Alex, what was your least favorite song?
Probably Perfect. I found it annoying. Like Santana's response to it was my response to it.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Here's another horrible thing I had to endure.
Yeah. I think it was a fine pick screenwriting wise. Like, I do think that those characters would sing that song to her. Like, that's fine. But I like not into Blaine rapping. And I just, thematically, it didn't work well for me. I just didn't like it.
Honestly, if I had two real people sing that song, I would be just as annoyed. It would annoy me. So, yeah.
Be like, thanks. All my problems are solved. Just like they try to solve homelessness with singing too. They tried to solve the world's homophobia for Santana.
They try to solve all their problems with singing.
Yeah.
That's Glee.
That's what you missed on Glee.
Honestly, that should just be every single summary. It's like they sang this song, this song, this song, and this song to try to solve their problems. That's what you missed on Glee.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the cover of Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I don't like it in general, and I didn't like it in the context. I know. I'm giving the thumbs down. I don't like it. It's not on my Glee songs I actually like playlist, so. Sorry.
I'm gonna go with the song that Puck sang, which is the title that Cullen just told me and I immediately forgot.
I'm the only one.
That one. Going with I'm the Only One. And I feel like I should back it up, but I'm just gonna say because Puck sang it. So
Yep. That's a
Shelby.
valid reason.
Shelby. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
2 layers. First,
Yeah.
Puck sings it, and then he sings it to her.
Yeah.
So many bad layers. Rotten onion.
I'm going with that rotten onion too. How dare they use Melissa Etheridge in such a way? Oh my
In such
god.
a straight way.
Such a straight, cringy way.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Just a really inappropriate context. Like, yeah.
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 Alex, what was your favorite song?
I'm gonna go with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. But I also loved I Kissed a Girl and like the way that they did it. I just thought it was really cute.
I'm going with the titular song, I Kissed a Girl, because it's fun. And I think it's a good cover. I actually don't have it on my Glee songs I actually like playlist, and I will be adding it. I can't believe I don't have it on there. That's what's really weird.
I am also going to go with Girls Just Want to Have Fun. I thought it was great. I definitely really, really liked it and loved the way that it sounded with Finn's voice and like was reminded that he's an actual good singer. Like we never get anything with him anymore, just like specifically his voice.
Yeah.
And I
That's
like
true.
his voice and I forgot that I liked it. So, ooh. Yeah, but Girls Just Want to Have Fun is a close runner-up. Wait.
No, you just picked that as number one.
The other one, I Kissed a Girl.
Just a girl. So Constant Craving grew on me, but I still have to go with I love me some Katy Perry, and I love a Glee cover of Katy Perry. So I Kissed a Girl. That was my favorite. I thought that, it was fun. It was cute. I love their choreography. And like the moment of girl solidarity. And yeah. So that brings us to the end of our episode. Alex, do you have any social medias you'd like to plug?
My Instagram is Alexandria Nichols, Nichols. That's it.
See cute cat content.
Gleeboot. Oh yeah, lots of cats.
Lots of cats.
Podcasts.
Yay!
Podcast. Yes.
Yeah, two Persians and then just me and my girlfriend. That's about it.
Aw.
We are at Gleeboot Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And then we're also on Tumblr, gleebootpod.tumblr.com.
So all you Britannia stans out there, follow us on Tumblr.
Yeah, hit us up. Send us your favorite fanfics if they're still published.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I got some good ones. I've got some real good ones. I'll send you guys.
Okay.
Exciting.
You can follow my other
I think you
podcast.
cut out.
Oh, okay. You can follow my other podcast, Wanderers Cove, at Wanderers Cove Podcast on Instagram. And check out our website in the description. You can find us wherever podcasts are found. It's a mystery narrative RPG podcast.
The Thanksgiving episode is coming out, or did it just come out?
It's gonna come out tomorrow, so it will be out by the time this episode is out.
Yes, it's coming out. It will be out. Yay! Is that it? Is that the end of yours?
Yes.
Okay. You can follow me at a.m.swearingen, SWEARINGEN. And there should be some more art type content. But in the meantime, my snail had an adventure.
I saw that. That was very funny.
So Alex, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you had a good time.
Of course, I had the best time. There are a few other key episodes I have in mind in the future, so when those become available, I'll be throwing my hat in the ring.
Yes, let us know. We'd love to have you
do.
back. This was a blast.
Of course.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.